Holy guys, has GH been popping off 3-0-22 in a 33-minute match. We're going to be analyzing his Rubick, seeing everything he does to become one of the most farmed heroes in the entire game. Yes, GH, the position 4 player of Nigma, had higher net worth than the offlaner. Let's check it out why, so you can snowball in your pubs as well. And of course guys, remember to obviously smash the like button. Let's get this video to 3,000 likes. That's a very high number, but if you see the video is not at 3,000 likes, hit that like button, and of course subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. We post here every single day, and we also post every single day on the GameLeap website where we make content to help you guys get to the next level, to get to your next set of MMR. So if you've been losing games, or you feel stuck, you don't know what the next step is, right? You don't know what information you're missing, go check out the GameLeap website down below, click the link, and I hope to see you guys there. Alright, so let's hop right into it with no time to waste from GH's Rubick. Now, there's a couple things I want to mention about this game. Number one, we see a Warlock Spectre. I think this combo is going to be somewhat back. I believe these combinations of heroes is just good. I feel like Warlock is underrated right now. And Fade Bolt with Fatal Bonds is so good for defending towers. Really cool combo there. On top of that, we see a very, very weird item build from GH. Like, the build in general is just straight up odd, right? He goes for 3 tangos, 3 branches, a Fairy Fire, and a Circlet. And the pure thought process behind this build is just to hit your opponent. Hit them, hit them, and hit them. And you can see that he's doing that straight up to Nico Baby here. This is proper rune trading, right? I even think he could have gotten an auto attack on the way back there, but keep that in mind, guys. Hitting at the rune. And yeah, let's see how he approaches his lane with this Giga Stab build. Alright, so the first thing he's going to do is secure the range creep, right? He literally walks up and just starts auto-attacking it until it's in Fable range. And it's a good thing to do in the laning stage. This basically allows you to trade, right? If you don't do this, you're going to get bopped by a range creep, and you're going to take way too much damage. Next up here, I want to show a very important trading thing that a lot of players get wrong. So FNG, the supportive alliance, is about to make a mistake here, right? So GH walks back, he drops a branch, eats a tango, right? So he's already prepping for a trade. When you do this, this is the reason why you buy it in the mid lane as well, right? You buy the branch in mid. You drop it, you eat it, and this is your signal that you plan on trading, right? For a while. So what we see here is he eats the branch, and then FNG puts himself in a bad 2v1 scenario. So what GH does is he keeps moving, he attack moves into him, right? The only time you want to attack move into someone in the laning stage is if you know you are in pure advantage, right? There's no way FNG turns around. And that's the case here. There's no way FNG mans up here, especially considering he still has his Fade Bolt. But yeah, really what GH is just doing here is looking for very creative angles to get auto attacks in. Any situation he can, he's going to go on Nico Baby and start putting in work. The next little tip I want to give for all you position 4 players is that it's okay to walk back to base, especially in this meta. So, the Lifestealer Oracle is not the best kill lane, right? This isn't some insane lane that's just going to start solo killing Enigma if the Rubick leaves, and therefore, it's okay for GH to simply walk back to base. I know a lot of players have a stigma against walking back to base, but I really do believe, and strongly believe, that this has become less and less of an important notion. Now, skipping ahead a little bit towards the 7-minute and 30-second mark, I just want to make a kind of a brief note about the overall item build of GH and his decision making. So what we see here is that he picks up a wand and a raindrop, so clearly he just thinks he's going to be sitting in lane trying to sustain. I also like this build on Rubick, makes you very, very tanky, and gives you the mana you need to actually play Dota. On top of that, what I'd like to say is that he sits in lane a lot and even actually drags creep waves to get more farm. You can see right here, he drags the wave so that it doesn't block this camp, pulls it together, and is going to use this to actually get to his level 6, which Mind Control obviously understands. He does tell Mind Control to go farm it, and he's going to go hit the creep wave. But as you can see, he's looking to get an early level 6, and this is something that more Rubicks, or just position 4 players in general, need to do as he gets a sick TP out, very well played, instantly lifting the Viper and making it out. And yeah, a lot of that comes down to his stats. If he only has like mana boots there's a chance he dies. And following that up, I was mentioning the level 6 guys, but the reason why I'm saying it again is I swear, position 4 players throw their games because they don't prioritize this level 6. Rubick is half as good as he could be based on one level, right? His ultimate. And that's exactly what he does here. Just sits mid, even telling Weehai, hey man, I'm going to take a bit of your farm. He's going to sap these last 2 creeps, 100%, gets the 6, instantly steals the spell. Sure, it's open wounds level 1, which is pretty bad, but it doesn't matter. You want to instantly have that extra spell. The major advantage you have of Rubick in the laning stage is the fact that you can have like 5 spells, right? Your Lift, Fade Bolt, Arcane Supremacy, a stolen spell, and then a second stolen spell, assuming you have it off cooldown by the point you take the next fight, right? Right here, it's a 20-second cooldown. The next thing I would like to mention, though, is that GH has a very clear tier list, basically, on what spells are important this game. Honestly, it's a pretty meh Rubick game in terms of what you can steal. So Plague Wards are probably the best thing he actually can steal just to defend towers and deal damage. Also, if I'm not mistaken, Rubick actually gets the Poison Sting from the Plague Wards for whatever reason. So yeah, Plague Ward's really good on Rubick, and it's important that he trades out open wounds for it. Not only that, he actually farms. So I told you guys, right? You know I'm here giving you the best information, alright? I told you that Venomancer jungle is good, right guys? GH obviously agrees with me. He's one of the best players in the world, and he's jungling. And he's basically Veno, right? So this just goes to show that GH approves of my message. Everyone give a thumbs up to GH. Say in the comment section down below, GH, we are so glad you support our Veno jungling. Other than that though, he's actually just gonna sit mid. This is what I think people kind of just get wrong about Dota. They assume that because you have some strong spell, or because you're a support, that you have to make a play 24/7. Some games, your team's just gonna farm. And this is kind of one of those games, right? They have an Enigma and a Spectre. Like, it's not one of those games where you're gonna make plays 24/7. Can you make a play around Black Hole and Lasso here and there? Absolutely. Right? That's kind of what they're doing here. Leads in with the lift to set up for the Black Hole. They even drop the Golem, and they're able to get a kill onto Nico Baby. And I think that really all stems off of the fact that GH was making them comfortable around mid. What do I mean by that? Well, the reason why they're comfortable around mid is because GH has been casually defending it. He's making them feel like, oh, it's just a Rubick defending the mid tower. We can farm it. All of a sudden, the gank comes out, and they get 3 kills, and a mid tower, all set up by GH's Plague Wards. Next up here, we see top tier decision making from GH, just in terms of positioning, and this is another small thing most players would miss out on. So he steals a spell from the Viper, just chucks down another Toxin. He's going to try to stall out the wave, and what he's looking to do here is simply stall the tower. Look at the map of Nigma. The Bat Rider is farming top, the Spectre is farming bottom, and what the goal here by Nigma is to just stall, right? It's very clear that they don't necessarily want to take the tower. After all, Haunt is on cooldown, so, you know, it's a bit sketch. Also, I think Rock is on cooldown as well as Black Hole. So clearly, they don't really want to take a team fight, right? They don't want to fight. So what they're going to do is simply wait for the cooldowns, right? Good roll in from the Earth Spirit, but with a great lift, he prevents Mind Control from getting kicked back into the enemy team. And with another Fade Bolt, he's able to delay up the push and actually do an absurd amount of damage that forces out an early mech. And yeah, it's just a great job of actually wasting time, and of course, he denies the tower. That, guys, is what we call space. Perfectly executed by Nigma, and that's what you want to try to do in your pubs. Tell your team, alright guys, we have no spells. Our teamfight spells are on cooldown, right? Anytime you have long cooldown spells, such as Black Hole or Ravage or Chrono, tell your team, okay, our spells are on cooldown, we're just gonna stall the tower, you guys split push. I can't stress how important this idea is, it's very underutilized, and that concept is just stalling towers, and that's actually one of the main reasons you'll see Rubick first picked, right? The reason why people first pick Rubick is literally just because he is maybe the best tower defender in all of Dota. Quick tip here, guys, by the way, I don't know if I've said this video, but farm. Alright, next up, we're gonna see a little bit of an engagement from Nigma. They now have the majority of their spells. They have the Black Hole, they have Blink Black Hole, they have the Rock. No Haunt, right? No Haunt, so they do have to be a bit careful about that. But let's see the general positioning from GH and how he approaches the fight. Rubick is one of those heroes that, if you don't really spam his spells, you lose the large majority of the value of your hero's kit. Okay, so the next play GH is gonna make is one that I think really reverses the general thinking of most players, which is who defends towers in Dota, right? So currently we see all of Nigma is bottom, and they want to defend this top wave, right? It's a huge triple wave, and so it's a lot of farm, right? They want to go get that. So who defends? Well, as I said, Rubick, especially with an Aether Lens, is one of the best tower defenders in the game. So what does he do? He shifts over, Fade Bolts the range creeps, and drags the wave back, right? You want to drag it as far back as possible so you're hard to gank. And the reason why this is important is now if Nigma wants to fight, they don't have to have a core run all the way back, right? If a fight breaks out, it's just a support, right? GH can always run and get to the fight late. Not that that's optimal, right? He pushes in another wave, so clearly they're just gonna back off, right? You can see Nigma running away. They've clearly made the call of, hey, let's disengage, chill for a bit. And now with some extra time, he's just gonna be efficient. And I can't stress this enough, guys. These little things matter so much. It's the reason why he is literally level nearly 13. He has 90 CS on Rubick this game. And it's not necessarily because he's been greedy. Now, sure, is he basically the mid laner at this point for Nigma? Yeah, I mean, Weehaw is not having the best game on the Bat Rider, but that's often what they do with this Bat Rider. They make it more of a roamer, more of a sacrificial player. So GH, no joke, wants to get to his 4-staff, so he hits a jungle creep. His team isn't doing anything, right? And so in your pubs, when there is nothing to do, go find some farm. Hit the nearby jungle camp. Then, if you want to make a play, call for it, right? Look, You see how cool this is? See how efficient he is? Now he sees a quick little Venomancer kill, steals the ability, gets vision with the Plague Ward, lifts him up, Fade Bolts, and they're on to the next one. It really is funny how much space and how much pressure he's creating with these Veno Wards, and really that's something you can do whenever you get Rubick. I mean, if you are picking it against Veno, you just have this ability to not only take towers, you just take over areas, you provide vision for your team, and that's why a long time ago, well, not too long ago, I would say about a few months, I saw Zai go this Veno build where he went like Boots of Travel, Aether Lens on Veno, and I was confused at the time, but really, one of the main benefits of Veno as a hero, and I know this is kind of like a Rubick video, but one of the main benefits of Veno as a hero is just the fact that Plague Wards give so much vision. And that's why you can buy Aether Lens, to give even more vision. And that's exactly what GH does this game. He constantly places the Plague Wards on various high grounds just to scout out the enemy team, right? Alliance. Alright, let's get into the next fight coming out from Nigma. So, GH sees his Spectre getting gone on bottom. The Spectre is going in pretty hard. Right, runs in here, and with the Blink Aether Lens, he's actually able to catch out the Earth Spirit. Throws him back, right, just wants to create some space. Turns out the Lifestealer was inside of him, so he instantly starts disengaging. Good Force Staff out to the outside, throws the Viper Strike onto the Lifestealer. Unfortunately, it does end up getting purged by the Oracle, but then he kites out. And why does he do this? Well, it's because he has no spells. He just has no spells. And I've been stressing this over and over and over again. If you are a support player, go watch your replay and pay attention to what you are doing when you have no spells up. If you are just in the middle of the fight right-clicking or walking in circles, it is a mistake. Do what GH is doing here. Sit in the back, stay on the outside, wait for your cooldowns. I've been saying this message to a couple of my students, and what it is sometimes in Dota, you can't do anything. Sometimes you literally can't do anything. Now we have an engagement going on in the Roche pit, and let's talk about what he does. So first things first, he doesn't instantly lift. I swear, when I watch Rubick players in like 1 through 4 KMR, if a fight breaks out, they just like blink and lift the first person they see. Please don't do this. You only want to lift someone if you know your team can burst them, or if they're out of position and you want to keep them out of position, right? So what he does here is he leads with a Fade Bolt, and then he assumed they could burst this Viper, right? The Viper was half health. A little bit of miscommunication from Nigma, obviously. They lift and lasso the same guy, which isn't particularly efficient. Gets gone on, throws in his Nether Tuxin, and has already casted his Fade Bolt. When you're playing Rubick, or any other hero that has long cast ranges, please spam your spells. If you have a low cooldown nuke, spam it, spam it, spam it. Spam it and then kite up. That's what he does here. Staying on the outside. These Veno Wards are obviously creating quite the hassle for him. He feels like he's just going to straight up die to them. Leads him with another Fade Bolt, right? Immediately gets in range, throws down the Nether Tuxin, and continues the kite to the outside. And you can see the Fatal Bonds in combination with these AoE spells are huge, as he gets another lift onto the Viper in synergy with the Haunt. Ease up the Viper as well. Unfortunately, great infest from the Lifestealer to prevent the Viper from dying right away. And this fight's going a bit insane, but you can see, because GH stays alive, he's constantly able to reset the fight and look for another pick-off as he gets a lift onto the Lifestealer, uses the Purifying Flames from the Oracle to secure yet another kill, finds another Toxin, throws it down, lives on like 1 HP, and is still alive after the entire fight. And they tip GH. He never dies. But you guys can do that too, right? He's constantly playing at max cast range. Anytime he casted a spell in that fight, he was at max cast range, whether or not it was Fade Bolt, Nether Tuxin, Lift, max cast range, right? Is it perfect? No. But is it close to perfect? Yes. And you want to be as close to perfect as you can when it comes to casting your spells. If you can do that as a support player, you will stay alive for significantly longer, and you will get 3 sets of spells off like GH did in that fight. Now for the final example of lift as we have here, he blinks in and lifts up the Oracle. As I talked about, you want to lift people who you know your team can burst, and obviously an Oracle is a very important kill to secure right off the bat. Ends up getting gone on, but has the Yules, has the Force Staff, is able to disengage with a great rock from the Warlock, stays alive once again because he doesn't rush garbage items like Ags. It's not a good Ags game, by the way, right guys? What is he stealing? Viper Strike at best, maybe a Veno ulti if he's really on his game, but it's very, very difficult. He's actually able to also rage, to actually live out from the Veno ulti, even though it wouldn't kill him. But my god, once again, another cleanly played fight, constantly resetting to the outside, spamming his Fade Bolt, and immediately goes back to farming. You just gotta love it, right? Also, let's quickly talk about the talents. Level 10, 150 health. Level 15, 100 cast range. Level 20, -4 Fade Bolt cooldown. And that's going to be about all for this game, as he throws up yet another Toxin, actually gets the Yules onto the Lifestealer to prevent him from disengaging. A sick black hole from Mind Control to end it all off as the Viper falls. And yeah, that's going to be about the end of this video as he once again gets another lift off onto the lifestealer who pops like a zit. And yeah, thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed. I also hope you enjoy watching GH just as much as I do, because it's honestly a pure pleasure. He makes so little mistakes in this game, is really just a pure example of that. 3-0-18 at the 32-minute mark with 172 last hits. And I swear, players tell me in their pubs that they can't find farm, that their cores hold them back. Then why don't you become more like GH? I'm not saying you have to become GH, but you guys get the point, right? This is possible, and I want you guys to look at it that way as well. This is possible. You can get to the level where you become another core, and that's exactly what GH is this game, as he TPs out for like the 8th time. Not a lot of stuns from Alliance, so it makes sense. But thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Let me know in the comment section down below what pro team, what pro player I should look at next, and I'll see you in the next one. Before you leave, just want to say a quick message. If you're trying to get better at Dota, or you just enjoyed that video, I know this is pretty general, and you're going to hear this quite a bit from me, but I recommend you sign up to GameLeap.com. Why? Because I put a lot of effort into the content over there, and generally the effort I do there is different from the content you're going to see here on YouTube. It is different. In fact, I usually go a lot more in depth on topics or into niche topics that help you get to the next level even faster, because on YouTube, I often have to keep it more mainstream, and that's even why I'm putting it at the end of this YouTube video. That's why this is at the end, because a lot of people just watch 5 minutes, they skip through just for like the dopamine spike. But if you are interested in actually getting better at Dota, I recommend you go to the description down below, get your discount right now by clicking the link, sign up, use the discount code that you're going to see there, and I hope to see you there right now. So click it, and yeah, thanks for watching.